Welcome back to Projects with Everyday Dave. Spring is finally here, but just a few short weeks ago, the ground was covered with snow. And if you're looking for solar panels, and you're trying to decide if it makes sense for you, and you're in one of the places in this world that gets all 4 seasons, and one of those includes snow, then you're probably wondering, does it make sense for me to get solar panels? And if I get them, do I have to clean the snow off? What if I put them on the roof? That's going to be really hard to get the snow off. So we're going to look at all of those and answer those questions for you and try and help you to make the best decision for you. So let's take a look. It's a partly cloudy day and the sun's starting to warm up the panels, but the reason the snow hasn't just slid off of the panels at this point is the snow started to come down when the panels were warm, and then the temperature dropped dramatically and it froze a layer of ice onto the panels, and then the snow started to come on top of that. Now if we look at the inverter right now, you can see that it's producing almost 250 watts, even though some of the panels are completely covered with snow. And the reason we're getting that much power is partly due to the fact that I have optimizers on the panels. So the panels that are completely covered don't limit the entire string. And what we'll do is we'll pull up some data here from the SolarEdge monitoring website, and I'll show you what each panel is producing and why it looks like that. Then we'll sweep the snow off and we can see what the difference is. I downloaded this screen capture from the SolarEdge tracking utility right before I started cleaning off the panels. And here you can see that all morning the total production was about 820 watts, 820 watt hours. And at this specific point in time, 9:53, the system is producing 255 watts. Not a whole lot of power, but it is still producing something, and that's because some of the sun can get through the snow to the panels, and because I have optimizers, some panels that have less snow are able to produce more power than those that are completely covered, and you can just tell by the output here. Some have 40 watt hours of output, and others are lower, like this one at 14 watt hours. But at 255 watts, that averages about 10 watts per panel that it's putting out right now. So after we brush off the snow, we can take a look and see what the performance difference is. Just have a little squeegee here and I'll use it to brush the bulk of the snow off, and then the sun will melt the rest. Okay, now I'm comparing the two results here. This one at the top at 9:53 is what we just looked at. When the panels were still covered with snow, we were outputting 255 watts, and here you can see the power ramp up, and it was barely producing anything with the snow on them. Then we cleaned off the panels, and I captured it right before the sun had completely melted it. So this is at 11:32, just about an hour and a half later. And you can see there's still some snow on the panels, and that's why we have this result down here. And I wanted it to look like that so you could see what the optimizers do. Now in this case, we have some panels producing very little down here at 173 watts, and some producing quite a bit here at almost 340 watts. But the total output now is 6,251 watts, nearly the maximum output of the system. And it's only being limited by these little patches of snow that haven't melted yet, and before long those will melt also. So we went from 10 watts per panel to 250 watts per panel just by brushing the snow off. Now if we break this down for a little closer look, you can zoom in here and see the panels at the top have a lot more snow on them than the panels at the bottom, and that's borne out in the data down below. The top string is producing 2,038 watts, and the bottom string is producing 4,213 watts, and together that's the 6,251 watts. Now if you look at the two lowest producing panels, this one at 173 for the top string and this one at 206 or 216 for the bottom string, if I didn't have optimizers, those low producing panels would limit the rest of the string to that level. So if we took those as the limiters, we would only be getting 1300 watts for the top string and 2800 watts for the lower string, which would bring us down to 4000 watts. Now, the reality is it wouldn't be that way for very long because the sun is going to melt this and they'll all be clean pretty shortly, within another hour. But it just gives you an idea of what the optimizers do. And in this case, it makes the most of the situation in the winter where there's some snow on the panels. And it doesn't have to be snow, it could be bird poop or something. It does the same thing. So now I just want to compare one last thing, and that is a full production day. So here is the system on a day when it's hitting its maximum output, 7500 watts. Now you can see in this case, all the panels are pretty close to 300 watts, and 7500 watts for 25 panels averages about 300 watts per panel. And if you look down below, you can see that in the winter, when I was cleaning those snow panel or the snow off the panels, this one panel down here is producing 340 watts. And that's because the optimizer allows each panel to put out as much as possible. And I can see based on this that if all the snow were cleared off, I would be at 7500 watts because I know that the average panel only needs to put out about 300 watts, and this one's putting out 340. So the solar irradiance is available, it's just not being utilized yet. So once they completely dry off, it'll hit 7500 watts. So that's just another way to see how the optimizers work and balance the power output for the panels. So what does all this mean? Do I need to clean my panels off or not? Well, if we look at this data here, this is the power production for the whole month of February. And February 1st is the day that it snowed. You can see very little was produced. It was cloudy, the panels were covered in snow. It doesn't make sense to clean them off while it's still snowing. So basically no power was produced. Now February 2nd is the day that I went out and cleaned off the panels in the morning, and it didn't produce as much as it could have. You can see the next day was almost 60 kilowatts, which is a mostly sunny day at this time of year with nothing obstructing the panels. So cleaning them off got me 40 out of my 60 kilowatts. And it also made sure that the next day was going to produce full power. But here's the reality, 40 kilowatts is about $4 at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And even for the 60, that's only $6. So it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to be producing or to go out there and spend all that time cleaning off the panels for just $4 to $6. However, there's another thing to consider, and that is maybe I need the power. If I'm off grid and this is my only source of power, it doesn't matter if it's $4 worth of power, I need it to turn my lights on. So now I have to go out and do it. But if you're just trying to make the maximum production for your system possible, it's probably not worth cleaning off. They shed themselves on their own anyway, if given enough time. If as soon as the panels warm up, everything melts against the glass and it starts to slide. Bottom line, we get all kinds of weather here. We get snow, we get ice storms, we get thunder and lightning storms. We had 60-mile-an-hour winds just the other day, and we didn't have any issues with our panels. But when it comes to snow, one thing that you have to consider is, are you grid tie or off grid? Now in my case, I'm grid tie, so it's probably not worth my time to clean off the panels. But if you're off grid, you may have to clean them off, because if you don't, then you're not getting any power. And you're not getting your batteries charged, you may not be able to turn your lights on. In that case, this is another reason why I think it makes sense, if you're off grid, to have a ground-based array. It gives you access to it. Frugal Repair did a video, and I have a link in the description below, you can take a look at it, but he captured this fantastic footage of the snow shedding off of his solar panels on his roof. Now, I wouldn't want to be standing under that when it fell, because it's coming down with an awful lot of force. But it's just a good example of how the snow clears itself in most cases. But if you have a ground-based array and you're in a place that has a lot of snow, you want to make sure you put it high enough off the ground so that when the snow does shed, it has a place to go. Otherwise, you'll be out there shoveling the ground around it, so the snow has a place to come down anyway. But for me, with a grid tie system, I'm better off spending my time building a snowman with my son. And that's something that I will be able to watch melt for days and days as it fades off into the sunset, and a better memory building activity than cleaning off the panels. The reality is I like to clean them off because I like to make sure I'm getting all the power I can, and it's fun for me. I know it's a sickness, but it's not necessary and it's probably not worth your time. So let's recap. If you're gonna put in solar in a place that has snow, there are 4 things to remember. 1, if it's a grid tie system, you probably don't need to worry about it. The snow is going to come off. When it melts, it'll take care of itself. It's not a big deal. 2, if you're off grid, you probably do need to worry about it. When there's no sun on your panels, you have no power, and you're relying on your batteries. So make sure you put your panels in a place you can access. Ideally, a place on the ground, and you'll be able to clean them off when you need to. Number 3, if you are putting your solar panels on the ground and you live in a place with snow, make sure you put them high enough up so that you can clear out the snow underneath. When the snow sheds, if it piles up all the way back up onto your panels, you're gonna have to get out there with a shovel to clear it anyway. And finally, number 4, if you're putting solar panels on your roof and you live in a place that has snow, make sure you understand where it's going to shed, and it's not going to land on people's heads. You might need to put a little roof over your walkway or something to stop it. Make sure that you don't have any bushes or trees that you really like under there, because they'll get totally smashed. So I hope that was helpful. Those are the 4 top things I think you should probably consider if you live in a place with snow and you want to do solar. Otherwise, hey, they work great here. We get snow. They'll probably work just fine in your area as well. I'll put a link in the description for how you can calculate the amount of power that you will be able to generate in your area. And I have a video on how to do that as well. I'll put a link in the description. So I hope this has been helpful. Enjoy your solar install.